So, here we are, 2 weeks later, and I know what you're thinking. The tank looks a little bit messy. And yeah, this is also the reason why I'm just going to show everything of this, because I feel like a lot of people on YouTube are hiding this aspect. They're like, haha, look at me, I built this tank, and this is how it looks like 3 months later, but they never really show what's going on in between. So, at the moment, the tank's 2 weeks old. I'm going through an algae bloom as usual. Normally the first few weeks or so, I would say, you're going through a big algae bloom. And yeah, I got a lot of brown algae or diatom algae. And you can see them throw around in the background. But yeah, we're 2 weeks in. I tested my water and everything was good. So got some fish and was letting them acclimate here for a good hour. But yeah, couldn't wait to set some Otocinclus free, clearly, because they're really good algae eaters, and fish in general are good algae eaters. They tend to eat free-floating algae of all kinds. So, but, yeah, I added the Otocinclus because they're good at eating some green algae off the glass and off the rocks and everything. As soon as I set them free, they went straight to work. Like, they latched onto some rocks and some glass, left, right, and center. So I'm going at it straight away. So I'm really happy I added these. I'm kind of focusing on keeping the aquarium as maintenance low as possible, and you can be like, haha, well, I can tell now, but you'll see in the future that when everything is settled and the tank is balanced and cycled, that yeah, I feel like there's not going to be a lot of work to it. So at the moment I'm setting free some rasbora hengeli. They're like the smaller equivalent of the rasbora harlequins, I believe. And they're a bit bigger and flatter. And I got some Bloodfin tetras as well. I'm not gonna pronounce all the Latin names. I'll put them in the description though, so you can look them up yourself if you want. And the last one had a bit of trouble finding the exit, it seems. But yeah, it's after I put the first fish in, and I filmed a little bit in between, like when I was adding the fish, because I've had quite some fish, and it was nice to see how the fish were acting and schooling. Especially when you just put fish in a tank, they're still a little scared, and they show a lot of natural behavior, in my opinion. Like, as you can see them go in between everything and really school together, and I really like it when you just put fish in a tank. When they're in the tank for a bit longer, they tend to get very comfortable and not afraid of anything, and they're just all over the place. I wanted to get some Nose Tetras in this haul as well, but I had to wait a little because they just came into the store. I went to a different store, but went back after an hour, and they were ready to be picked up. They were all looking really good and healthy. Because the second store is a bit cheaper, and I was afraid that the quality of the fish would maybe be a bit lower, but so far I haven't lost a single fish, so I'm really happy about that. So this is about an hour later, well, 2 hours, picking up the fish, letting them acclimate for a good hour as well, and after an hour setting them free. And this is still the first day, like I said, and I'm gonna get even more. I got this in the afternoon, and I had a appointment at a third place, at my place where I go for my shrimp and my snails. It's more like of a hobby breeder, and he has really good quality of shrimp and nicely priced. And I'll put a link in the description if you're from the Netherlands as well, and from my region. I'm from The Hague, and you can also order from him, but I like to go there personally, clearly, and he's a very nice, kind guy. So here are the shrimp. I chose for some cheaper cherry shrimp, because at this point I was still afraid that maybe the fish were gonna pick at them and etc. And it's a very big tank, and I was getting a larger volume of shrimp. This is the first batch I got. In the end I got a few more, but these are the first 30 that went in, and I got 50 in total. And I got a few rednose shrimp or pinokkio shrimp as well, so they can help out with eating the wire algae. So over here I'm letting the shrimp free in the tank, and everything is going well so far. I'm really happy. The fish got a little bit excited. They thought they were going to be fed, but all in all, everything went nice, and none of the shrimp got hurt or anything. And set them free and filmed them for a little as they were all trying to find like a little hidey hole and a nice place to live. And yeah, like I said, I also got my snails from this guy, and I just love these mini nerite snails, like the horned ones. They're just such great cleaners. Like they take rid of the green algae on the glass and the rocks very well, if you ask me. I don't think there's any other creature you can have in your aquarium that's going to be doing a better job. And the bigger nerite snails, I hear a lot of people complain that they put like white eggs everywhere, but the eggs of these small snails are so small you can barely tell. And normally the fish and other things tend to feed on them anyway, so by the time they lay, they're normally also gone very quickly. So yeah, this is after I put everything in, and you can tell the fish and everything are a bit excited. I think I just threw some fish food in. And this is the end of the first day of adding fish, because clearly the tank is not 1 day old. But yeah, very happy with everything. But still had an urge to get more, to be honest, because I still felt like it was a little bit bare. And I also felt like that it was just not enough. I do want like to create a small like ecosystem. Not a big fan of very large water changes. I haven't done a single water change in the first 2 weeks. And I haven't changed any water either when I added the fish. I'm gonna be very honest about that. But I also don't add any nutrients to the water, as in fertilizers. And I don't use any aqua soil, and it's not gonna leach like crazy. I do have quite some brown diatom algae clearly, and it's probably leaching from the rocks and the sand, because there's a lot of silicates in the tank, isn't there? So this is the next day, and I went back to the cheaper fish store, and I saw these pearl Danios, and I wasn't sure yet, so I slept on them for a night. But like I said, I went back the next day, and I got them because they look really nice and really pretty, and they didn't grow too big. They stay roughly around the same size as the Bloodfin tetras. And I thought they complemented the color of the rasboras really nicely, so I also got 10 more rasboras, as they were cheaper there. Like I said, that fish store is slightly cheaper than the first main one I went. I just wanted a few more fish because it's a big tank, and I just felt like when I was looking at it, something was still missing. So I added the pearl danios, and here I'm adding the rasboras. And I noticed the rasbora hengeli that I got from this store, like some of them were with an orange stripe above and then a black stripe in the middle and then clear on the bottom, and a few other ones had also an orange stripe underneath the black stripe, so they differed a little, but it doesn't bother me that much, to be honest. And yeah, this is after I set the pearl danios free, and boy oh boy are they active. It's probably one of the craziest fish that I ever owned. Like, there's never a dull moment with these fish in your tank when you're looking at it, because they're always active, they're always busy, they're always doing something, they're always they're really pretty to look at. And I did try to get fish that complemented each other. Like I said, the pearl danios complement the rasbora hengeli very nice, because they both have like a bit of orange in them, and the neon tetras have some red in them, and the bloodfin tetras have the red in them, and they all have that natural grayish color a bit that fish tend to have, which I like as well. So yeah, like I said earlier, I recorded some footage in between when I'm adding the fish, because I like it how they're acting and responding to their new environments, and play around and set the dominance order, I suppose, because the biggest pearl Danio definitely is the one that is picking the most on the other fish. But all in all, they're quite friendly still. They like to just hang out in schools, and they do chase a fish here and there, but they don't really attack them. They just, it seems like they just love like speeding after them or something. So this is 2 days later, and made another trip back to that fish store, and I just felt like I didn't have enough neon tetras, so they had a sale going on at the moment as well, so that's why I got a lot of them. They went for cheaper and larger quantities, so I got another 30, and it makes 60 in total. And I also got 10 red nose or a red beak, however you wanna call it. I'll put the Latin name in there. It's something like with the petite. It's not the one that starts with the H, but yeah, I got some red nose tetras as well. And the guy gave me one extra, and initially thought like, oh, he's really that's kind of him. But then I was watching the fish as they were acclimating, and I noticed that one of the fish has a bit of fish or like scoliosis basically, so he looks a bit hunchback. But everyone's welcome in this tank, so it's also the only fish I named. I named him after the Disney character Quasimodo, because he's hunchback. I did inspect him for a little bit to make sure the breeding was alright and such, and that the fish didn't look too sick, but I think it's just scoliosis. All the fish I got as well were all have friendly personalities. They're all fish meant to be in community tanks, so they can mix and match without any issues and have a fun time. Over here I'm adding the last fish, I believe. I don't think I added any more fish after this, but yeah, the last 30 neon tetras are being set free now, and definitely done after this, because the tank is full now, I would say. I'm not gonna add many more fish. And everything has been going very well. I haven't lost a single fish, which is always really nice, clearly, when you're getting fish. And especially with such a large quantity of fish, you always think about losing one. I think I added 120 in total. And yeah, quite remarkable that everything went so well and that everything survived. Also due to the fact that I don't use any chemical water stabilizer like water safe to treat my water. I just use regular straight up tap water and nothing else, and just let it cycle. I'm really happy. And again, especially after just setting the fish all free, and they're still a little bit anxious and still getting used to the tank, and they're just schooling really nicely at the moment. I would say once they're settled and used to it, they're more a shoaling kind of fish than an actual schooling fish, as the behavior they're showing now, but still really fun and cool to look at. And like I said, I don't use any fertilizer, so that's basically the reason why I got fish so quickly in such a quantity, because I use them as my fertilizers, and I always think it works well, in my opinion. I got clearly the big layer of lava rock underneath, and if you want to see how this tank is built, I would recommend to check out my video where I have the full build of this video. But the lava rock underneath houses a lot of natural bacteria that turn the nitrite and nitrates, or I'm sorry, the ammonia into nitrate, and the nitrate into nitrite, and the nitrite eventually gets used by the fish again, so the cycles, or the plants again, so the cycle's complete basically. And so far I've been testing my water here and there for ammonia and nitrates and nitrites, but didn't had any explosions yet, and looks like I found a nice balance, and really happy with it so far. And I've seen every single fish in there eat brown free floating diatom algae at some point, so yeah, I guess fish don't really get enough recognition when it comes to algae eaters, but it's their main source of natural food, so people should know, because they're really good at it, and you can really tell the difference. Like this is recorded only 3 days after I started adding the first fish, And you can tell how much brown algae already has been eaten by the fish, and also how clean the rocks are. Like, I haven't touched the rocks or the glass at all at this point, and the snails and the Otocinclus probably just have been going at it like crazy. And yeah, cherry shrimp or Neocaridina shrimp are also just really good algae eaters. I noticed I had some plants that were looking in a bit of a rough shape, and I threw it in my paludarium that has like a crazy amount of Neocaridina shrimp, and within 1 hour, like all the algae was eaten off the plants. The plants were looking brand new again and really healthy, and crazy how much algae they eat. Like, I feel like only Amano shrimps get any recognition for being algae eaters, but there's so many different other fishes and things that eat algae, and they're really come in helpful, because in the end of the day, I don't want this to be a full-time job for me. I just want to spend like once a week, about an hour on it max, and so far I haven't even, so that's good. Yeah, be a bit more self-sustaining, and like I said, don't put as much time in it like all the professional aquascapers I know. For them it's a full-time job, and for them they I guess they want to be busy with it every single day, but I don't have that urge, to be honest. Like I said, it's fun to work at like once a week, but besides that I got a lot of other things to do, and mainly just want to enjoy and look at it. And I know it's still looking a bit rough, but I'll promise you in the future it's gonna slowly start looking better and better once the tank is fully cycled and everything is gonna reach its balance. So if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe, because I'll be updating this tank for like the next 6 weeks at least, every week. After that I'll probably be updating it like every 2 weeks to a month or so. And yeah, I do a lot of other things on this channel as well, so if you're gonna be subscribing, don't be annoyed by some of the drifting videos I make with my RC control cars and some of the games I play. I hope you have a nice day, and like I said last time, make sure to appreciate nature, and I'll catch you next time. And here's a bonus clip of the remaining 20 shrimp being added to the tank. They looked a little bit paler, but they're the same quality as the first ones. They were just sitting in the back for a bit longer.